Rachel.
Thank you very much, Goga and Emable, for that comprehensive, list of everything that we need. So my takeaway is that documents vary from program to program, right? So as because Goga was talking about how there is a program that might require you to just give you specific questions, and then you answer those questions, and then there'll be a program which would require you to do a personal statement alongside a motivation letter, and then um, all other documents. And then about the language requirements, you might need IELTS, TOEFL, or might not need that. May also just basically need a letter from the university. So again, I think it comes down to one key thing is that every student that is aspiring to apply for this, research, go Erasmus Mundus, look at all the program catalog, look at the specific requirements, because I don't think we can fully say that no language requirements, no personal statement, no motivation. It depends on the program that you're applying for. And again, when you're choosing the program, look at that program that you are able to meet the eligibility criteria. Um, so another thing you mentioned about is the recommendation letters. I think this is very key, not just Erasmus Mundus, but also to all other opportunities. If you're thinking about graduate studies, you're in final year, or you're in your gap, or you're done, but you're thinking about applying at least by the end of this year, start working on your recommenders, because the rest of the documents, these are things that you can sit down and draft: motivation letters, personal statements, the so whatnot. But then the recommenders on the last minute, you can't build relationship. So you start now, or you should have started a long time ago, and you start building, as Mr. Goga was saying, burning those bridges. You start building those connections so that by the time you apply to program X, that person already knows that Mr. Samuel is Miss Nelsa, or I'm trying to look at the names on the screen. They're interested in this program, and they're pursuing. They want to be sponsored through Erasmus Mundus, so whatnot, so that they can be able to recommend you. And I think it's very critical, because even with our mentees in the next gen mentorship program, it's something we usually come back to: recommendation. The rest of the documents you can draft. And also, I think generally, as a recommendation, to be on the safe side, if you're able to prepare for English proficiency exams, I think you should, not just for Erasmus Mundus, but also for all other opportunities, because definitely you can't pursue one opportunity. You don't put your eggs in one basket. You have to explore all other opportunities. So thank you very much, Mr. Goga and Mr. Mable, for taking us through the documents. And for those who kind of missed and didn't also get from my summary, this session is being recorded, so we will share it with everybody, and then you can go back and note down those key aspects that you need. So now we've talked about the documents that we need. I'm going to give space to Rachel and Matinu to break down, talk more about the motivation letter. And I think this is very critical, because this is the point where the selection committee gets to meet you as an individual, get to understand who you are as a person. So I believe that the approach should also be kind of different. So if you can talk more about the motivation letter and how best we can structure it and ace it. Thank you very much, Rachel and Frank.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Rich. So these are just tips. They might not be the best, but because they worked for me in many opportunities that I got, I believe they will also benefit you if you apply them. So to be very brief, when you're writing your motivational letter, others they call it a personal statement. There is a background from someone, and it's quite distracting. Okay.
Uh,
Miss Rachel, do you mind muting the person who has a background sound?
yeah, done.
Okay, thank you very much. I struggle so much with noise.
It's
So
okay.
I was saying, others they call it a motivational letter, others they call it a personal statement. Um, the reason why they call it a personal statement is because it's all about you. So number one tip that I want to give you is, when you're writing your personal statement or your motivational letter, put the focus on you. Some people, they focus more on their country or their organization or that they've been working for. But I would like to encourage you that whilst you are talking about your country or your organization, at least show some relevance of your role within that organization or within that country. So don't, actually, I'm just trying to say, personalize your personal statement. Yeah, you may want to talk about, like for example, I'm a gender expert. Talk about the gender disparities in my home country. So what? Like where are you coming in? So try your level best to personalize your personal statement. So in the first paragraph, I would encourage you to just go straight to the point, why you are motivated to apply, for example, public health. That's when I would say, growing up in a marginalized community where women and girls, they are really affected, something like that. Then I tell them my motivation for wanting to pursue public health, because I want to bring this transformational change in my home community when it comes to public health among women and girls. So my point is, yes, it's about my country having these challenges, my community having these disparities, but where am I coming in? So personalize your personal statement. Take note of this. A lot of people, they think scholarships are all about people who are coming from underprivileged communities. So they try their level best to find mercy from the reader, to say, oh, I'm also underprivileged, I come from a humble background. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's all about you as a person and the change that you want to see within whatever area of expertise that you're focusing on. Number two tip that you have to put in your, so I'm saying the first paragraph, at least introduce yourself and why you have chosen that program, your motivation around that program, if something like that. Then paragraph 2, I would encourage you to talk about how your previous studies and experience matches this program that you are looking at. So I'll give my personal example to say, I was now applying for public health. So I'll give an example that my previous experience, my previous qualifications are in gender, women and gender studies. Then my work experience was on sexual and reproductive health and rights among young women and girls. So how does it link to public health? There is a relationship there where I'm saying women are the most affected by sexual and reproductive health challenges or risks. And then now we are shifting it to public health to say, I've been doing this work without really theoretical understanding of what public health is, but I was just using my expertise in gender. So now I want to move into public health, so that maybe, sorry, I'm now putting my mother language. So now that we move to the next paragraph, now the third paragraph. So on this third paragraph, now I'm now linking this program with my career aspirations. Now I'm saying, I'm giving examples so that it makes sense. So now I'm saying, I studied gender. I've been working in gender, focusing on reproductive health. Now I want to pursue public health. Now the third paragraph, I'm linking it to the future now. Why? I think if I'm to do public health, then it means maybe I want to go into policy when it comes to making policies or laws around health in my home community. Maybe I've seen a gap when it comes to gender. Or I would say I want to move to public health, so that maybe when my country is doing gender budgeting, is doing their national budgets, they are gender sensitive. I'm just trying to link public health, the course that I want to pursue, with my career aspirations, or to say I want to establish a gender hub in my home community that will be focusing more on public health. So make sure that your paragraph is linked to your future aspirations. Then it is also important to have a paragraph that talks about how you are going to add value to the program, because these guys, they just don't want to waste their money on somebody who doesn't add value to their programs. So it's important to highlight that the transferable skills that I've gained, maybe is working in this space in my home country, is also going to add value to our studies or as a community, because I'm going to bring this diversity from, for example, the global south. We come from Africa, the global south, and we'll be studying with people from America, Europe, Asia, Australia. So that's my contribution, to say I carry this expertise or this rich information that is going to add value to our studies. Then you can also have another paragraph, maybe where you just mention why did you choose those countries. For example, why did you choose the UK? In this paragraph, try to also just flex it a little bit in as much as it's academic. So you can maybe give an example to say, I've chosen the UK because of its public health system, which seems to work, and I believe we can replicate that same system maybe in my home country, something like that. Then just say, I just love the UK because of the weather. They have to see that there is also life outside studies. I like you. I chose the University of Manchester because I support Manchester United. You can as well flex in your personal statement. So to summarize what I've said, in the motivational letter or the personal statement, it's all about you. Make it personal. Don't make the reader feel pity for you. Just to say, I come from a poor background, my parents struggled to pay for my fees. It's not about that. Link your previous experience, your previous academic studies with this new course that you intend to study. Another paragraph, talk about your career plans or career aspirations, how this program is going to add value to your career aspirations. Another paragraph, talk about your contribution to the program. You need to show that you add value to the program, not just them pouring their money on you, but without any gain. Then the last paragraph, you talk how why you chose those particular countries, those particular universities or cities, and that's my contribution.
Frank, over to you before I jump in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rachel. I don't know what is more important than what you just said. I think you basically summarized everything. I think it gets back to the overall importance or the main takeaway that I am getting from this session, and that I think Sam and Emma have very much developed, is to be intentional. Aside from what Rachel was just speaking, I think you need to be very much intentional about what you're trying to achieve as an individual that is ready for graduate studies. One thing that I would just add to what Rachel was talking about is be intentional to the extent that you're not liable for any mistake. And how do you do this? How do you get to this point? Is you need to be aware of who is going to be your lecturer. Personally, because I can only speak from a personal point of view, I read some articles from some professors from my university, for example, before I was even admitted. I read some articles, and when I was writing my personal statement, and yes, I was very narrowed in terms of number of words, but I quoted some of my lecturers or some of the people that were going to teach me and that are currently teaching me. What does this show? It shows that you don't only know the program, but it equally shows that you know the people who are already in the program. I did not limit myself there. I went to check on the other students who have been into the program, and some of them have written and published, and I was able to showcase through my writings that yes, there is some knowledge about some of these people. I'm very fortunate that I have the opportunity and the pleasure to be on this panel with Mr. Sam Goga, who actually helped me throughout the process. It was a whole stress because he is actually one of the persons that really helped me go through the process of writing the statement, and though very intense, I was able myself to see those places where I could adjust only because I had the capacity of sharing it. Lastly, mainly what I want to add to what Rachel was saying is you need to have a hook. Yes, you don't want to appeal to pity because it's fallacious to appeal to pity, but at least you want to show them that at a certain moment of your life, there is something that reveals something specific about yourself. That's the first thing. Next thing, you don't want to show them. You want to tell them how you reacted to this thing. So from a hook, there is always an action. you went through this specific thing, but yes, how did you react after this specific thing? That's the mindset of a statement. And then you have to link it to the journey and how it relates to your program and how you intend to adjust it to your future. So basically, I have these 4 stages that I often repeat to myself if I'm reading a personal statement. If I'm ever reading a personal statement, I want to see the hook. That's the major change in your life. What sparked you? What makes you special as a candidate? And I want to see if you are able to tell me and how you reacted to what made you decide or how you changed. And I want to see how you linked it to your statement. Are you fit enough for the program? Are you a great fit? Are you a specific fit? Or I also want to see in the last part how you intend to use it to your future. Maybe just to react to what was already said about the issue of the IELTS and the TOEFL. A lot of things have changed in how universities approach these things. Sometimes universities would not require you, but the embassy is going to require you. So that's how intentional you need to be. I take the case of Ireland, for example. I have a couple of friends who got rejected because they couldn't have an IELTS. They kept thinking that it was a myth. But once the university requests for an IELTS, to be on the safe side, to be on the side of people who are not to be blamed for any other thing, they went beyond reasonable doubts of thinking, do it if you have the opportunity of doing it. Do it if you have the capacity of doing it, because you might get to a stage where you cannot escape it, and that's at the embassy. At the embassy, let's say you're given the opportunity to go to the school, but then the embassy refuses your visa because of this thing. It's quite a challenge, and you don't want to be on that side of the conversation. So yes, the personal statement and the motivation is important, but it is much more important to be intentional beyond reasonable doubt. Don't limit yourself to what is written on the website, or don't limit yourself to what is written. No. People nowadays reviewing applications want to see intention, and there are so many ways of revealing intention. You need to be capable of showing the person that is reading your application or your motivation letter that not only are you motivated, but you've been through a series of things that have made you much more qualified than the motivation in itself. So it goes beyond your capacities of revealing in a simple letter that you're motivated. It actually goes to the extent of showing that, yes, aside from this motivation, I have something more to add to the motivation, and it's very much important. So thank you very much, Rachel, and yeah, that's it basically.
All right. Thank you very much, Rachel and Frank. I think what I got from this, the whole approach, when writing motivation letters, whether for Erasmus or any other opportunity, is kind of tricky. But what I got from your sharing is that, number one, to everybody here, if you're applying to any opportunity, Erasmus or non-Erasmus, number one, you need to know in your mind that as you are applying, thousands and thousands other students are applying, which means that each and every word that you're going to use, keep in your mind that you have to be unique in your own sense. That is why Mr. Frank was talking more about having a hook. What is making you different from the thousands and thousands of other students that are also applying? And if I can also summarize, I think really Rachel put it in a very good way, like how best can you organize your motivation letter? And again, I think this is really important. In addition to what Mr. Frank was saying, if you're studying your own motivation letter, talk about yourself. And I know right now there is a tendency of students wanting to use AI for any application. People are going to ChatGPT, draft me a personal statement, draft me this, so whatnot. But no, when you're applying to this kind of opportunities, first of all, if you're using any AI, trust me, even if they tell you it will not be detected, these guys are going to detect it. So try to be as natural and authentic as you can, using your own, because you're unique, you're special, you can apply to this and win without any AI assistance. So when you're studying your first paragraph, talk about yourself. As Rachel put it, personalize your personal statement. Let it be personal. Don't talk about it. You can talk about your country, but in relation to you, what contributions have you made? And then once you're done talking about yourself in the first paragraph, then you go to the second paragraph, then you talk more about what you want to study, like your previous academic experience and why you're applying to that particular program. And most of the times, as Rachel was saying, when you see that someone was doing gender studies and is going into public health, you can't just say that I was really interested in public health. No, you need to, state the actual reasons. As she said, she was working with marginalized, communities, women communities, and then from there, she realized that she needed the theory aspect of, the public health, because it was already something that she was working on. Not her, definitely she was interested, but she didn't go in the second paragraph and say, I was interested in public health. That is not a reasonable reason. And then you move down to career aspirations. Once you're done with that particular program that you're applying to, what is next? What is next for you? Which is why it's very important to always start with an end in mind. And then contribution to the program. What add-ons, value additions that you bring into the program. And last but not least, why you chose those specific countries. Again, Erasmus Mundus gives you the opportunity to study at multiple countries. So why did you choose those specific countries? And also, I think it always comes back to to your interests. As we saw from Goga, he is currently going to Burkina Faso because that's where climate issues, are maybe concentrated somewhat not, and something like that. So you need to do research and understand why are you choosing those specific countries. And something that Mr. Martinu added that I would like to also share with all of you is that you need to show that you're very interested. And the way you show it is that you don't write in the letter, I'm very highly motivated and interested in this program. No, you go, you make research about the different professors offering those particular programs. Get to know them, get to know about the past researches that they did, or reach out to previous scholars. They can also, guide you. And another last thing that I would love that I got from the panelists is that you need to always seek assistance. When you're doing an application, you can work on it and feel like it is, perfect. It has reached to that point. But unless someone else has looked at it, has reviewed your materials, trust me, it's not, ready. As we heard from Frank, he had to reach out to Gogai, and I believe even the rest of the team, they had people who, looked at the materials and advised them. So I think we've talked so much about the opportunities, but I also understand that from the audience, there are a lot of people with different questions. So if you have a question, you will raise up your hand and I will unmute you and I'll give you the opportunity to ask. I've been seeing several questions in the chat box and I saw, the panelists were trying to answer to the best of their abilities. So if you have any question moving on forward, you can just, raise your hand. I'll be more than glad to unmute you and give you the opportunity to voice your queries. So as we're waiting for the questions, and shifting to the Q&A session, I want to kind of close this off by asking what doors opened as a result of Erasmus Mundus opportunities. Again, I know we talked more about the internship opportunities, but more than that, what career changes happened that you believe that you couldn't have gotten if you had not gone through Erasmus? And then you'll be answering this question as I go around collecting all the questions from the audience. And again, if you have any question, this will be the right time. You just raise your hand and I will unmute you and we'll be more than glad to hear from you. So over to the panelists, I'll pass the mic to Mr. Gogai, and you're going to talk. I know you kind of highlighted a bit of that, but then generally, what other doors opened for you, and what changed in your career as a result of Erasmus Mundus?
Thank you very much for that question. that the Erasmus Mundus program that I'm doing has been really helpful in the sense I'm currently doing work related to climate justice within Salter Foundation, and we launched our center almost a month ago. So that is the work that I'm doing here. We're building something, and we are working, and we have gotten strategic partners, including some of international development organizations, and I feel like that the Erasmus Mundus program that I'm doing gave me that little push to start something, to start something with people, with a community, with people, and work towards a mission. And I'm glad that I was part of Erasmus Mundus because most of the tools, it doesn't give only like academic, it's not just about academic, and it's not just about academia. It's more like you create these connections, you learn from others, you have these tools and connections that you build throughout these years that allows you to to be confident enough in what you want to do and what you want to pursue, and also allows you to and also allows you to be more you don't have all the answers, because I don't believe that there's one point where you have all answers that you're looking for, but you know that, and this is something that was raised by other panelists, because there is a reason why we have 150 programs. That means that if you're applying, for example, you can't say that in your application that you want to solve all the problems in the world. There is no one who's going to save us from all the issues that we are facing. There's a lot of crises happening all at once and overlapping. What they need you to do is be specific. What if you were to be part of one solution? What issue would you like to provide solution for? And it can be very specific. Even one thing is enough. And say, I want to work with children and work towards ending malnutrition in communities, in rural areas in Africa. You're just saying that you want to focus on malnutrition and malnutrition and children, and that is your niche, and that is what they'll be looking for. They'll be looking for someone who is very specific about the challenge they want to address. And I think that also helps when you continue your career, because I feel like Erasmus makes you more open to opportunities and helps you to, like myself, I'm now working with people within a center, Salter Foundation, which is based in Rwanda. It's a non-profit organization, and we are working on climate justice and climate change, and how climate change is interconnected to other socioeconomic issues such as poverty, such as displacement, such as gender inequality. So, and how can we advance rights-based approach and inclusive approaches in policies that affects women, youth, and other vulnerable groups amid the climate crisis, and how can we have more participatory and inclusive policy frameworks and decision-making processes when it comes to climate action. So that is the work that I'm doing, and I feel like the program that I'm still doing has been really helpful to me in realizing that dream, also working towards advancing my career. And more than that, it has also allowed me to be connected to different organizations and different people, and I have been exposed in different contexts while I was in Italy, and I was able to be part of different opportunities on the European continent, but also in South Africa, and also back in Rwanda and Kenya as well. So it has allowed me to be like this free electron, if I would put it that way, in a way that I connected with people, but also in a way that I continue to be to have a clear image in my head about what I wanted to do and whom did I want to serve in the future. And it turns out it's the vulnerable communities, and I'm happy to be in this position And I think that's pretty much everything from my side when it comes to how the program has been really helpful when it comes to my career aspirations.
All right. Thank you
Rachel.
very much. Thank you very much, Goga. That was really kind of you. All right. So this has been an interesting webinar because among also the audience, we also have, Erasmus Mundus scholars. It's amazing. They're also in attendance, and I would like to do a shout out to Mr. Lydon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. I'll just give you 2 minutes to talk about your journey so far. I know you just started your year. Just talk about your journey for 1 minute and also an introduction, and then we proceed with the Q&A. Oh, I see Frank's hand is high. No, Frank, you can first proceed before we jump in with Layden.
Yes, maybe we should go first with her presentation, because I wanted to answer a specific question that is very important, that is just asked in the Q&A. I think everyone is going to benefit from a proper answer from this question, and I was just thinking I could quickly go back to it. The question is, which kind of research do you do to know why you choose a specific country and school when the major reason you are choosing a school is that they have the program and funding you need? I think this question resonates a little bit more with my reasoning. The person is Myra Wama. It resonates a little bit more with my reasoning, mainly because this is a question that I kept asking myself, and it goes back from what you understand as yourself. You use the word you a lot in this statement, so you get to realize that it's a you problem, first of all. So what does it entail? If it's a you problem, it means that it's a you issue. It means it's a you that has to handle this problem. So what happens is you need to go back to your drawing board and sit down and ask yourself why. It is fundamental. You need to ask yourself these questions before you get even to realize that, okay, I want to choose a school. Because it's not about the school. It's not about going to the school. You could be admitted into the best universities tomorrow on this planet, and still you wouldn't figure out, or you could even be given the most useful funding, but still you wouldn't figure out what kind of research you need to do to know what specific country and school, so you can't focus yourself, or you can limit your reasoning to a specific angle like funding, and a specific angle like school. To be honest, when I was applying, and people like Sam can testify, when I was applying, I had no money, if I could say that. I was also working for an office that was really, really supporting me academically, but I can't promise you that I knew exactly the school that I wanted to go to. And this is where motivation comes in, because I want to link this to the issue of motivation. As a child, or as someone from the global south, as a student from the global south, you need to understand that you are not into the luxury mindset of having the capacities of reasoning in that specific way you want to be thinking, So it always gets back to you having to go back to your drawing board, sitting down and asking yourself in a very intentional way, what do I want to achieve with this master's degree? What am I aiming to do for this master's degree? And I like the way Ngoga really, really made it clear in a few of his statements. Like, am I aligning myself in such a way that I am organizing my life to be qualified into most of these projects? There's something that I feel like most of these questions are not yet understanding, that I just want to clarify. It's all about yourself being yourself. You need to be intentional. You need to take it to a certain level in such a way that it's not debatable. You know it, because even if you see it in another program, you know that it is still going to be the same thing. So that's just the question that I wanted to come back. And once you have that settled, you get to realize that it's no longer about the scholarship. It's no longer about the Erasmus Mundus program. Sam, for example, Mr. Ngoga, wasn't applying for the same program like me, but he helped me with my application process. And you need to understand, these are the tricks that I'm sharing. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it out, so much so that you can always be flexible enough to play with your timetable, flexible enough to play with your deadlines, flexible enough to play with I had an Excel sheet. And I wish we had a lot of time so that I could present my Excel sheet. So you see the number of universities that I was targeting, the dot lines. It requires you a certain organizational skills that I think you only build because the motivation is present, and that's another way to to make the motivation visible. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Frank. Layden, over to you. 1 minute, and then we proceed with Marty.
Okay. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me the floor to talk about this scholarship. It's a very big privilege. I would like to say I didn't really get the full scholarship, but I got the partial waiver. I got the reduced tuition fee for the program International Masters of Environmental Technology and Engineering. So while I've heard that many of you in the panel have gone through environmental law and other life, but I am in the environmental engineering and technology side. So first of all, my name is Wong Linden Beringe. I'm from Cameroon, and I applied in 2023 to start in 2024. I started in Czech Republic, and then went to the Netherlands, and now I am in Poland for the internship. I'll be here for 2 months. Then from here, I will finish and go to Belgium for the third semester. Then for the fourth semester, I will choose between either the Czech Republic or Belgium or Netherlands for the master's thesis. So a bit of the journey, it was not easy applying. It was not easy, to be honest. You had to go through a lot of reading, understanding how to write your motivation letter. But the panel has spoken a lot about this already. But from my side, I think if I were to put the documents in an order of importance, I would say your first is a CV. Your second will be your academic performance. Your third will be your motivation letter. The fourth will be the recommendation letter, and then the fifth will be the English proficiency. I'm not saying that they are not important, but I'm saying that in order of importance, I would put it in that order, because your CV and academic profile already tells you if you are, first of all, eligible. They will not look at your motivation letter if you're not eligible. They will first of all look at your CV and your performance. So based on those two criteria, that is where you should put even a lot of your strength. And also, and why did I choose to pay for this scholarship? To pay to attend the lectures. I know that from most of my discussion with some of my classmates and many other people, you have the most important problem that comes in is always finance. And in the Erasmus, even though you will hear of 1,000 applicants, but then they will only take about 25 students maximum for the full scholarship. But others will be given the opportunity to either attend as self-funded with a tuition fee waiver. My own waiver was about, instead of paying 18,000 euros, I paid 3,000 euros of tuition fee. And I thank my parents a lot about that, because they were able to look into the program and see the benefits, and then give me the opportunity to do so. And so I would like to say to the other participants that if you think that your parents can look into that and see that there is a big opportunity in this, you could speak to them, and if you apply and you see that you have a self-funded basis and that the tuition fee has already been covered, I think it's already a very big opportunity. And to be honest, I can't say I've spent up to 9,000 euros already for the first year. And you can convert that into your local currency and see what it looks like in your own country. And to me, I think it's a very big opportunity. When you finish the program, you have the opportunity to apply for PhD scholarships. And with the Erasmus degree, I think it is already a very, very big plus that you will. It is kind of guaranteed that you can have a very good PhD with it. I'm looking forward to many other scholarships, but my very first stop will be the Marie Curie scholarship, because it's very, very, very top notch, and it's kind of the opportunity that most Erasmus students should even be looking at.
Yeah.
So I think that's much of what I can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Laiden. That was 2 minutes of wisdom. Thank you very much. We're very humbled and honored to have heard you speak to this audience. And I think you brought a different perspective to the panelists because yours was partially funded. So that also goes to our dear listeners. If you apply and you get admission, but then they give you that condition, all is not lost. If you are able, you can still pay the remaining fees if you're able to. And then, because at the end of the day, the whole experience is rewarding, the network, the exposure that you gain from it. So if you still find that this is really connected and aligned to my career projection, and you get that partial funding, again, all hope is not lost. You can still pay that. As Leighton was saying, he was paying about 3,000 euros. If you're able to cover that, well and good. If you're not able to cover that, then you opt for other opportunities. And it's knowing that you were admitted, for me, I feel like it's a really big deal. That means other factors came in, but you admitted, that means you qualified. So we are now officially in the Q&A session. I'll be only taking questions. We have Miss Martha. I'm going to unmute you and you can share with us your question. And again, the question, any panelist is free to jump in and answer the question. Yes, Miss Marty.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Well, thank you. I have a question. Personally, I have a degree in art of communication with concentration in business. So from the people we had on the panel, none mentioned the availability of scholarship opportunities in art, like in communication, in administration. I guess everyone was focusing on sciences. So my question is, do you have available or scholarship opportunity for people in art? Like, for example, if I want to pursue administration, if I want to pursue masters in communication, do you have those opportunities? And the second question is, when is the application open? I might have missed that if you had mentioned. Yeah, those are the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Marty. Are there arts opportunities in Erasmus Mundus, and the application timelines for the opportunity? Yes, Samuel, over to you.
Thank you, Marty, for that question. As this is something that we have repeated throughout this call, is that there are 150 programs, Erasmus Mundus and Erasmus Plus, and this is a really big number of programs to begin with. So sorry, something threw me off about lowering my hand. So what I'm trying to say here is that we have 150 programs, and don't take anything that we said here on this call as something that is set in stone. Go out there and do your own research, because again, I am into law. I have a background in law. Rachel from public health and gender studies, Imad from agriculture and environmental policy. So we were just focused in our sector, but there is many other opportunities, so that if you can go, there's a catalog that has been shared in the comment section that we can also as well reshare. So you go and look for and this goes to everyone on the call. Don't just say the requirements that we have mentioned are the requirements for the programs you're interested in. Don't say the applicants the panelists here only mentioned law. Is because we can only speak for the programs that we are representing, or the career experience that we have took. So I 100% encourage you to go and do your research. Put administration in Google search and add Erasmus Mundus program and see what comes up, and take it from there. And if there is no program that 100% speaks to you, make sure at least you see what is the second best option available. What is, if they're saying that there's no program in purely administration or comms, as you may wish, there could be another second best option, maybe in other studies, and say, oh, is this something I would do? Or does it give me flexibility that I want, so as I can tweak it and bring it back into my sector. Is it communication, and say communication for this type of groups, or communication for in this type of organizations? So I think you really need to be creative, and I feel like the best person to answer these questions is yourself. Do your research, because I feel like the people who are on this call is that you have made the first step. The first step was like you saw this webinar and you were like, I would like to get information about this program. And this is the part of research, actually, because we are pointing you to different available resources online. So you go out there and do your own research and reach out to us, because I know so many people, many of the panelists here are happy to help, happy to answer your questions. If you can even send me a program, let's say in science, and trust me, I'm not a scientist. I've tried to be one, but I cannot be one. But you can send me a program from a science discipline and ask me to go through the program and look for requirements for you. And then this is something that will not take me 3 minutes or less. So I'll just go through the program and look for the requirements, look for the tricky things they may be asking, and then get back to you. So go out there and do your own research, and don't be limited to what we said here, because there's no one size fits all, as Rachel just said in the comment section. So go out there and do your own research and reach out to us if you have a question. Yeah.
Before you leave, there is Dr. Mulki who shared a question in the chat box. She was saying, for someone, you said in order to get full scholarships, it comes in windows and you have to apply in that time. Can you clarify that, please? And do you know if it applies to Europe Hub Health? I think you can answer this together with Rachel.
Yes, I think one best way to have all the information in one place is that most of these programs, have social media platforms. Some are on Instagram, are active on Instagram because they want to attract the youth and people, Instagram users, while others are on Twitter, while others are on LinkedIn. One, make sure that you know where your program is active, because they communicate, because the European Union give them money to communicate these opportunities, because you can even see how much a university is receiving from the European Union, because every information is made public for transparency factors or any other factors. So some of these programs are really, no, not some of them. I think most of them are active on social media. They're either on Instagram, either on Twitter, or formerly X, formerly Twitter, or on LinkedIn. Once you have followed that program, make it personal. Make sure that you are following them. You have turned all the notifications on. You can even join their newsletter or whatever resource is available. Make sure to receive the information, because most of the time they say we are going to be, because when I was answering that question, I answered it from my own perspective as someone who is doing a program on climate change, diversity, and sustainable development. It is done in windows. So the first window is for full scholarship, waivers, and the third call is open for, I think, Europeans only, because they want to make sure that Europeans also participate. And they don't offer them scholarship. They just Europeans who want to fully sponsor themselves to be part of this program. And this can differ depending on the program. You may even find programs where a call is published and everyone applies, and then from that pool of applicants, they choose who gets a full scholarship, who gets a waiver, and who gets nothing in the end. So just follow the program and make sure you're like update on what is being published and what they're posting, because they're going to be posting most of these programs. They post their research, they post what the present cohort is doing, because my program also publishes where other paths have gone. They show you what people in Ecuador, in South America are doing. They show you what people in West Africa are doing, in South Africa, in Europe, Portugal, in Italy, in everywhere. They show you where the students are located and what they're working on. So it starts getting attractive to you. So all in all, this is just the beginning. You have made the first step joining this webinar. Go out there and do your own research and reach out to people if you have any other question, and make sure that you follow their accounts, add yourself on their newsletter. Make sure that you are even if they have a website, because Erasmus Mundus catalog, you're going to join Erasmus Mundus catalog. Once you have seen the program, it's likely going to take you to their website. Make sure that you have visited their website, you have Googled their professors, you have start making the program your own, like you're going to be admitted, because everyone is going to get admitted, because that is possible. So start looking at that program and make sure that you are up to date and up to toes with the program that you want to join. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel. So we are coming to the conclusion of this webinar, and I'll be taking final questions. And there is a question from Tatenda, and I think this is addressed to Mr. Emab. It's saying that I have a bachelor's in agriculture and economics. What are the best and marketable master programs offered by Erasmus Mundus? I think you'll be the best person to speak on this, Mr. Emab. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Is the question in the chat or where?
Yeah, it is in the chat by Mr. I don't know whether it's a Mr. or Miss Tatenda.
Unfortunately, I cannot see the question. Where is it?
Well, I think it's still high.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, for example, I would just earlier I talked about the programs that I applied to, and Rachel talked about you applying to a maximum of 3 programs. So I took the liberty to do that and maximize my chances. So I did my bachelor's in agriculture economics, and the closest programs that I saw was the one that I did, agricultural, food, and environmental policy analysis. It's called AFEPA. There is also another program which is called International Masters in Rural Development. They just call it Masters in Rural Development, but there are different tracks in economics, sociology, environment, and economics. So don't just look at the name and say, oh, this is not for me. Just go into the program. There are many tracks that align with your background. So that one was also interesting for me because I found a track inside that was related to what I wanted to work on. The other one was called Food Identity in France. It's also related to the food science and technology, but they have different tracks. So you can work on food economics, you can work on food science or food processing, different tracks. So when you open the program, as Samuel was saying, you go there, look at the courses, the modules. Each program has different tracks. So when you look at the tracks, that's when you know this is for me and I should go forward. But the easiest way is just go to the Erasmus Mundus catalog. I think many of us have shared the link on the chat. When you find a program, or you can just start by filtering by field. You just write food, or write agriculture, or write law, or write economics, or write whatever. When you see different programs, just go deeper. Each program has its own website. When you look at the tracks, that's when you find what you really passionate about. When you go into the program, that's when you are going to see the tracks and know, okay, this is good for me. Even if the name sounds different, and you see the name food identity, for example, you see what the heck is food identity?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, but when you look at the tracks they have, that's when you're going to find out something that is interesting and aligned with your background. So I think there are more than those 3, but there are more programs that align with agriculture economics, and I will encourage you to just go through the catalog and go deep into the tracks, and you'll find something that is suitable for you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Emable. I can't find even the words to say thank you to all the panelists, Mr. Goga, Mr. Samuel Martinu, Mr. Emable, Miss Rachel. You all have been amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time to share your journey and to highlight more about Erasmus Mundus program and the whole program. And also Mr. Layden, thank you very much for chipping in with the other perspective about the whole opportunity. And for me, I feel the whole objective of this webinar, number 1, was to raise awareness about Erasmus Mundus. And I believe that we have achieved that today in this webinar. I believe that we're going to leave this webinar when more and more students know about Erasmus Mundus opportunities, and I pray and hope that we are going to be having more applications from different African students aspiring for Erasmus Mundus. And my other takeaway message to the whole audience is that we cannot exhaust all the questions. I am seeing raise hands and questions in the chat box. But one thing you need to know is that everything these guys are talking about, trust me, it's not hidden somewhere. It's all on the platform. If you go on the website of Erasmus Mundus, you find the program catalog, and they provide all the information to their level best. So if you go there, because we've done the ice break, we've opened up that space, and you can apply with confidence because fellow African students have applied to and also won that opportunity. That means you can go also search about this opportunity in addition to everything you've gotten from this webinar. And again, if you want to know more of these opportunities, we are on our platform of NextGen4All. You can follow us on X, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, everywhere. We post, these opportunities that African students are going to apply to and S. So we go through each and every opportunity that we're applying, and we make sure that it's an opportunity that you can apply to and actually win. And Rachel also shared in the chat box, she has a platform on YouTube where she talks more about, Erasmus Mundus application and so whatnot. So you have a pool of, resources. And I'm pretty much sure that if you reached out, I think our panelists shared the handles on the chat box. So if you reach out to them, I'm pretty much sure that they'll also be more than willing to, assist in any way that they can. And also for NextGen4All, as I mentioned, starting this webinar, we run a mentorship program. And in the mentorship program, what we basically do is that we take eligible students for a whole year program, and we help you in applying. And for now, the graduate mentorship program is closed and is currently running, but then we have the undergrad mentorship program that is still running. So if you know anybody in your network that is interested and they have, the zeal, then please recommend them NextGen4All. As otherwise, it has been an honor and a pleasure. Please, we have this kind of webinars periodically going on, and in future, I'm going to be talking about Canadian opportunities, specifically the Nicole McBain scholarship opportunity that is still running. So follow our pages to keep up with these opportunities, and we'll be talking more about these opportunities. And the very aim is that you fulfill your academic aspirations. It has been brought to you by NextGen4All, and a special shout out to our panelists. These guys were not paid, they were not done what, they're all serving from their heart, and they just want to make a difference, and they want to make a difference to the lives of every other students out there. So please help me send a thank you note to all of these panelists. And I think our biggest thank you will be if you apply, and if you apply to these opportunities, and we hear that we are having more African students, applying from Africa, that will mean that we have achieved our goal. And to those who are seeing hearts on the screen, those hearts are directed to our panelists with much love coming from us. I think we can close this webinar. It was recorded, and we'll be more than sure to share it with everybody who was. So long as you filled the registration form, this webinar will be there, and we'll also try to share it on YouTube, so that if there is anything you want to come back to, you can always go and visit that. Otherwise, thank you very much. To close this off, I'm going to give 30 seconds to every panelist to do a takeaway and say bye to us, and then we close off this webinar. So I know Rachel, where she is is really late, so I'll let you go first, and then tell us goodbye, and then we can let you leave. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. So I just want to say, if you really want to pursue Erasmus Mundus, don't go for it. Yeah, it's a good opportunity that will allow you to grow and at the same time explore the world. So I wish you all the best in your applications. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. It was an honor, and we were humbled to have you. Thank you very much. All right. I'll pass on the mic to Mr. Anybody from the panelists, whoever, just take away and a goodbye. All right. Okay.
Oh,
Let me
okay. Okay, Emmanuel. Emma, you can go. You can go first.
Oh no, it's okay. So, all right, thank you to everyone who attended. It was interesting to answer the questions and hear from the attendees who asked the questions. And I wish you all the best. Apply to as many programs as you have to, and don't self-reject. Just send applications. It's free, and just wait for the emails to come. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Emma. Please.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank you, Rachel, for organizing and making sure that this come to life, and also NextGen for this really great initiative, because I feel like most of us, when we were applying, we didn't get this type of opportunities where you could get on a webinar and someone, you have people who have been part of the experience telling you should do X and Y, or you should try X and Y. And I feel like this is very important, because sometimes I had even the impression that I was the only person, the only Rwandan in the year that I applied who got into Erasmus Mundus program, because you feel like you're alone and like you're on your own island, you're just trying your own things. So I'm so happy also, like so many people joining today. It's a Sunday and people really made it a priority to join, and this shows how thirsty you are for education and to become the better versions of yourself. So I'm truly proud of everyone on this call, and I know that, as Imable said, don't self-reject, don't tell yourself no. You are the candidate that program is looking for. So go ahead and apply, and don't apply to one, apply to two, apply to more. Just apply and send your applications. It's time consuming, and it requires one to be dedicated. And I wish you all the best. And we can't hear, we are just expecting the best, and we know that the best is coming your way. And so good luck, and keep pushing. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you with the news of you getting admitted. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goga. It was a pleasure and lovely to have you. Last but not least, Mr. Martinu. All right. I think Mr. Martinu left the call already, but yeah, I think he has shared everything that there is to share. So today we were also delighted to have Diane on the call. So Diane, if you could also unmute, take about 30 seconds and you close us off. Diane is our Associate Director at NextGen4All, and she helped organize this, and she's also the head of Graduate Mentorship Program. So if you need more application tips, the technicalities, she is the best person to go to.
Oh, wow, Nacho. I was like, it's still morning here, but yeah, thank you to all the panelists. This was amazing, and I definitely learned a lot for a person who did not apply in Europe. To me, also, I'm learning, and as NextGen, we work with students who are interested to apply across, different universities in different countries and different continents. It's nice for me to be also learning about this opportunity. So thank you, everybody who was on the panel and everyone who attended.
All right. Thank you very much, Diane. I think that brings us to the end of this session. Much love from me and much love from NextGen4All. And shout out to all our panelists. Bye. Bye, everyone.